Hello, once again. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? Straight to the point. Two division world champion Gervonta Davis has been indicted on 14 counts of related hit and run. And this is confirmed by multiple sources. This is unfortunate. I'm going to read you the article via Vlad TV. The two division champion Gervonta Tank Davis has been indicted on 14 counts related to a hit and run crash in Baltimore in November. According to police, a car ran through a red light and struck a Toyota Solara, which had 4 adults in the car. Witnesses identified the vehicle as a Lamborghini Urus and say Davis was behind the wheel before he and a female passenger fled the scene on foot. Following the collision, witnesses say a black Camaro arrived at the scene and people started loading items from the Lamborghini into the Camaro before Davis and his passengers left in the black vehicle. In addition to witness, police also say surveillance footage proved Tank Davis was behind the wheel of the car. This is damning evidence, y'all. The 4 people inside of the Toyota Solara were injured in the crash and were transported to the University of Maryland shock trauma. While the passengers' injuries weren't threatening, the driver was believed to have suffered serious injury. These are the charges that Gervonta Davis is now facing. And salute to everyone that's in the live chat. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Lion Killer Podcast. Salute. Andrew Charles in the building. That guy, what's good? It's breaking news. Gervonta Davis has been indicted on 14 counts. I was pretty much waiting for this information to come out. I did hear that, from several sources behind the scene that he was, pending this action right here. But anyway, let me continue with this. Davis has been charged with 4 counts of failure to return and remain at the scene of an accident involving bodily injury, failure of the driver involved in an accident to render reasonable assistance to an injured person, failure of vehicle driver involved in an accident to furnish required ID and license, failure of vehicle driver involved in an accident to exhibit license to police, failure of vehicle driver involved in an accident to report to nearest police, failure of vehicle driver in an accident to locate and notify owner of unattended property of damage, failure of vehicle driver in an accident to furnish required ID information in writing on attended vehicle, persons driving a motor vehicle on the highway on suspended license and privilege, persons driving a motor vehicle on a highway on revoked license and privilege, driving a motor vehicle on the highway without required license and authorization, driver fails to stop at a steady circle of red signal. If convicted of all charges, Gervonta Davis faced a potential maximum of 7 years and 55 days in prison. 7 years and 55 days in prison is what Gervonta Davis is looking at right now. And I know I can't even retrieve, when I said it, but I said if Gervonta Davis take a hiatus from the sport, it's going to be from the streets. It's going to be because of the street. It's not going to be because of the ring. No cap. I said if he takes a hiatus from the sport, it's going to be from him getting in trouble. Now let me pull this up right quick. All right. This is unfortunate news. Of course, we knew it was out there. I definitely knew it was out there. but now it's finally come to the light, official. And what I'm about to do is show you, the viewers, the charges, so you can basically catch it on replay, screenshot it, or whatever you choose to do with it. This is the first half of the charges. This is the first half of the charges that Gervonta Davis has been charged with. He's charged with a total of 14 counts, indicted on 14 counts. And these are tough charges to deal with, being that they have video footage of Gervonta Davis confirming that he was in the sports vehicle. And then not only that, he fled with the female. They came back to the scene to retrieve items in a black Camaro and then left the scene again. This isn't a good look at all. And the individuals that's in that car that's injured, no regard, the double back and check on these individuals. I mean, it's just unfreaking believable on the whirlwind that's about to hit Gervonta Davis. And I'm looking at this, right? We talk about fighters making money all the time, but it's fucked up when fighters make money just to pay for an attorney. And 14 charges of this magnitude, I don't see him resigning all 14 of these charges and then walking away scotch-free. I like what I can compare this to, right? Here go the second set of charges. Like, check this out. I don't see this being like a Conor McGregor situation where Conor McGregor threw a steel dolly at a truck, injuring fighters, right? They had to be taken to the hospital and treated for cuts and bruises from glass. And he was also on film. Conor McGregor was also on field throwing the dolly, and potentially could have took somebody's life if that dolly would have went through the window and cracked somebody in the head. It could have ended their mixed martial arts career and all that. But once again, Conor McGregor only received 5 days community service. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is that they're both fighters. Gervonta Davis charges, in my opinion, much more severe than Conor McGregor. I'm gonna be honest. This is unbelievable. I mean, I know Floyd Mayweather has been sitting on this for quite some time. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that with all the money that Floyd has, I don't think he can get Gervonta Davis out of this. I truly don't. I don't think Floyd would do it. If he did do it, that means Gervonta Davis would probably be tied down to him for several more years in the game, in the sport. Seriously. Sheena, what's good? Salute to you. J8. Tank ain't going to serve nothing. He would pay them victims though. You know, I look at it. I can't say you wrong, but it's not something I can agree with. The reason why I can't agree with is that he's been in trouble before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were saying the same thing about Shakur Stevenson when he was out there beating the brakes off this dude, right? And I didn't think he would see freedom for quite some time because he was a professional boxer, but that shit went away. So Jay, you might be halfway right, bro. I mean, due to the extensive nature and the list of these charges, man, it looks like it's not going to end well. He's going to do some type of time, right? You know, even Floyd Mayweather went to jail for a year for domestic abuse, right? That didn't have anything to do with a hit and run. That didn't have anything to do with it. He even went to prison with all that money he had. So I can't see Gervonta Davis just paying off the victims, which is going to be, they about to get paid. I'm not sure how badly injured these people are, but it's an uphill battle for Gervonta Davis. Real talk. It's going to be an uphill battle, and I'm going to Um, for those of you that's tuned in, I'm about to um hold for a second. So y'all can check this article out. I just dropped a link in the chat. So that is the link of the article that I read, and then I seen the article several other places too. But you know, Gervonta Davis, according to when his court date is, and if they allow him to remain free on bond, if they even give him bond, it's according to what judge he has, man. They might lock him up, and that fight with Mario Barrios would definitely not happen this year. So, with that said, I want to believe that he may get off, and then I want to believe with 14 counts, him being on camera, fleeing the scene, multiple people hurt in the accident. I have to do comparisons, Jade. I feel you. I have to do comparisons to this, right? I have to do comparisons because I can't totally shut you out and say you're absolutely wrong. I can't say that because I have to go back to John Jones. John Jones has more incidents than Gervonta Davis. John Jones, the same way, was in a hit and run accident, fled the scene, hit a pregnant lady, fled the scene, returned to pick up some money, and fled the scene again. He didn't serve a day in jail. He didn't serve months. He didn't serve jack. He's black. Let's get that straight. John Jones was in a hit and run too. And he hit a pregnant lady, left the scene with no regard. And I remember people talking about this. They were saying, man, John Jones, he's going away forever. He's done with the sport. Nope. Not at all. Conor McGregor, same thing. You know, he was out there acting a fool in town and doing crazy shit. We thought he would be gone. Nope. So a part of me saying like, hey, Gervonta might get off scotch-free. Andrew in the building, what's good? Say unbelievable. This is disturbing news. Absolutely, it's disturbing news. Gervonta Davis indicted on 14 counts, y'all. 3-time world champion, 2 weight classes. You know what I'm saying? He might be going away for quite some time. Because Baltimore, Jesus, you know, it's not the first time he's been in trouble with the law. But when it comes to all these counts, man, he was driving on a suspended license. I mean, he's about to lighten his bank account big time. He's going to lighten his bank account with attorneys, which he probably already sourced a while ago, from what I understood. He already had attorneys on this, and you know, he already knew this would be pending anyway. This was imminent. That's a fact. I just, you know, I don't like to talk about stuff until it hit the mainstream. And then, third of all, he's got to come out the pocket and pay those victims. Jay say victims went from I'm good to my neck hurt. Hey Jay, they saw who it was. They say, oh shit, man, I'm glad that could have been work. Hold up. That's Gervonta? Oh shit, hell no. Recline the seat back. Goddamn shit. Start moaning. Call 911, man. There's no telling what they was doing. But at the end of the day, Gervonta Davis is the one at fault. So the only comparison I can give you all that he might get off is that John Jones also had a hit and run accident. He never served a day. He had to go in though and get booked, but he never served like a month, 2 in jail. He didn't. I know he was booked though. He was booked. And he did get a light sentence. The same with Conor McGregor. You know, Shakur Stevenson, he was able to, you know, put aside his one incident he had with a civilian. But this is incredible, man. This isn't good at all, man. Gervonta might be out the sport for a while. I know he's still old, but I mean he's still young. With Gervonta Davis, if he even get 5 years, he won't be able to return to the sport for, until he's 30, so to speak. And then, some people are going to say this is a non-violent crime. Yeah, it is a violent crime. Like 14 counts, it's a lot that goes along with what he didn't do. Failure of. You know what I'm saying? All those failures to do something. Ms. Lovely say, I knew he was a fool, shaking my head. There's a lot of people that's going to be tuned in to see and keep a close watch, man. I know a lot of people are probably, coming at Gervonta Davis. I'm not going to be his protector. Don't think I'm up here to advocate. Don't come over here talking no bullshit. I'm not going to advocate for somebody who's grown enough to know to stay their ass at the scene of the crime and do what's right. You would have been better off just staying there, but no, you driving on suspended license, revoked license, and you're going to get out the car and go running up the street and people see you. Then he had to pay for the damages probably for the vehicle. Who knows? I don't care. Why run when you got insurance? Who knows it? Hey, Andrew, who knows if he had insurance on the vehicle? Who knows, bro? He had a suspended license. That car could have been registered or leased in somebody else's name. I knew, look, I'll tell you, when he was down here in the A and he pulled up to the gym, he was in a sports car. He was in a white sports car. So with this case pending, I'm just saying, it's public record. So, but when he was down here, he was driving. That's just me. That's what I saw and many others. So I don't know. I mean, hey, it all depends, man. I know he was in a nice one down here, and his security is like, no taking pictures and all this other shit. And we was in the parking lot. But obviously it didn't matter that he had this court case pending because he was still out doing what he do. My nephew did the same thing under the influence of no driver, under the influence, no driver's license. He had to pay the victim's restitution and an unbelievable amount still paying, but he didn't go to jail. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. I didn't think you can get off of that. I know they're going to hit you in the pockets because in California, driving under influence, you definitely going to get minimal a fine of $10,000. Minimal. They're going to hit you with a $10,000 fine and they're going to take your license. 90 said he's not doing no time. That's Floyd Mayweather's bread and butter. He's going to settle with the victims. Hey, you know what? I can't even sit up here and disagree with you. The more and more I'm thinking about it, I was thinking about, the situation that happened with some of the other prominent superstars. I said they didn't do a day in jail, like a month in jail. So you might be right. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather might have influenced the settle with the victims. And if by chance Floyd has to come out the pocket, Floyd gonna put that money on the books. And Gervonta's gonna have to pay that shit back. Real talk. Cause listen, at one point in time, Floyd couldn't keep himself out of prison now. And it wasn't no hit and run. It was domestic shit. So Floyd didn't go to prison for 14 counts. You know what I'm saying? So if he helps Gervonta Davis expunge this and pay restitution to the victims, he's definitely gonna have to pay that money back. And knowing that he had this pending, it's amazing he came down here and put in the work that he did with the sparring session. I mean, you couldn't tell shit was on his mind. Real talk. Like he came down here and got it in. You couldn't tell this was pending or nothing. You couldn't tell that dude had anything on his mind. Gervonta pulled up, got that work, then took a day off, came back the third day, got that work. With my boy Brian Norman. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like he was freaking depressed about anything. So Yeah, y'all might be absolutely right, man. 2020 Lambo with no insurance, shaking my head. Hey, them rich people, you know how them rich people get down? They walk up there and the people see their face. They know they got money. They happy to lease to them because they good, solid. You know what I'm saying? They totally understand that no matter the way it goes down with their vehicle, that person has money, and that's pretty much their insurance policy right there. They're gonna get paid either or. Because when you think about it, those cars don't cost that much money to them, to the dealer. They have insurance on the cars themselves. Perkins, what's good? Salute. Davis is going to get off by paying a boatload of money to the people that were injured. He won't do no jail time, but he's going to pay a lot of money to the people that got hurt. Yeah, it's a lot of people about to get a serious stimmy. This stimulus check is going to be different, though. Them people are going to be walking around here hurt. I want to mention somebody else's name that was in an accident. He was walking around here on a walker, and then they end up paying him multi-millions. After they paid him that multi-millions and the shit was settled, that dude was at the beach. I'm not even gonna say his name, but he's a celebrity. I don't blame him. But I know he was injured, and this will probably be a hint. Like his friend was killed in the accident, and he deserved every penny. But then, when the case was settled, he went right back to making movies and being on the big screen, man. But his life changed. He made close. They paid him close to 100 million. Close to 100 million. Anyway, money talks and windows. Money talks and window engines. People see dollar signs. Davis will not be going to jail. They'll be getting a bag full of money. Sims, what's good? People have to understand a lot of them counts are pretty much the same, just worded different. It just sounds good coming from the media. Yeah, you're right. Just like suspended and revoked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pretty much the same thing. Your license is suspended or revoked, somewhat the same thing. They put it out here: person driving on motor vehicle on a highway on revoked license, and then person driving a motor vehicle on a highway on suspended license. Suspended and revoked is still extracting privilege. It is suspending. It is prohibiting or restricting privilege. So yeah, I agree with you on that, Sims. I agree. It is all about the language. 420. Bro, here in Los Angeles, some 17-year-old in a Lambo Urus crashed, killed a 33-year-old woman, and he still hasn't gone to jail. It's been over a month. Damn. And I know California, man. I seen some of the most extreme highway chases on I-5 and Highway 15. California, that open road is just dangerous, especially when you're on a bike, car. You see sport cars all the time. But what y'all think about this, man? Gervonta Davis, 14 counts. You think he gets off scotch-free? From injuring 4 people? I mean, we seen the kid who dad had money. I forgot his name, but he killed 4 people, and they said that he was diagnosed with affluency. He pretty much didn't know right from wrong. So the white kid, he really didn't do any jail time at all. He killed 4 people, and he was basically acquitted because he left the scene and said his dad had money, and he never went to prison. So recently, someone was trying to call and say he was violating his I guess he couldn't go out a certain distance out of town, and someone was trying to snitch on him and say he wasn't where he's supposed to be, and nothing happened to him. It's like, leave that guy alone. He's much older now, but that dude killed. He was intoxicated, and he killed like 4 adults, I believe. Can you imagine that? I bet them people disgusted to this day, man. Major Key in the house. Major Key Boxing, what's good? 30 days max per person. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know John Jones hit a pregnant female If he would have received a female judge, he probably would still be locked up. I don't know, but he hit a pregnant female. All he was booked. He got in or getting out. He didn't serve time for that. He hit a pregnant female, injured her. The baby didn't die, anything, but he actually fled the scene, came back, picked up some money, and I guess some weed he had in there and left. He didn't check on her, anything. Free man. They live by a different code up there when your bank account has that many zeros, I guess. Us, we don't have them zeros, and they give us a jumpsuit quick. Don't they? They give us the jumpsuit quick. They put you in a cell, slam that motherfucker so you can hear the damn doors. Nothing to eat, drink, none of that shit. Andrew, basically, he would be fighting for free. Yeah, until you pay that money back. If Floyd needs to come out the pocket for Gervonta, you know what I'm saying? If he chooses to come out the pocket, I'm gonna tell you, Floyd ain't giving up money for free. He's not giving up his attorney. He's not giving up his legal connections. None of that for free. Gervonta is gonna have to pay for that. So, like it was said earlier, Andrew said he will be fighting for free a couple of fights. Yeah, Scotch free gonna be pimped by Mayweather Heyman until it's paid in full. Yeah, man, that's another thing. He has Heyman. You know what I'm saying? He has Heyman, and Heyman understands that Gervonta is one of the cash cows over there at PBC. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is. Even though he signed with Mayweather Promotions, Gervonta Davis is still connected through the Al Heyman, which is very close to Floyd Mayweather. Very close. King Mitch in the building. Salute, man. Maybe this is too much pressure for his up and coming next fight. Like they say, pressure bursts pipes. I disagree. Because I've been knowing about this for a minute, that this was pending, right? And they was going through, the whole process. They got to, before it comes out to the media, they have to make sure they make it seem a certain way and deliver it to the media with a certain sting to it, right? He's been knowing about this for a while, but like I said before, when he came down here, he didn't seem depressed and freaking down. It was like he was heading into a motherfucking another fight. Like he wasn't in fight shape, but he went in here and got it in. Him and Brian Norman, and he didn't seem like he had this 14 count indictment lingering over his head. He seemed like he was ready to go. It was another day at the office. Let's go get it. Now I know Gervonta from the streets, but still, that doesn't mean you don't have a thought process with something this heavy. Like this dude wrecked a sports car. So for him to panic, I'm just curious to know what it was exactly. Like, why did you panic? Because the sports car is going to be traced back to you. If indeed somebody else, he wanted to say, okay, we wanted them to take the charge or whatever. He was going to put somebody else in the vehicle. Don't worry about it. I got you. Take the charge. But cameras and everything identifies Gervonta Davis as being the driver. I'm just wondering, outside of his license being provoked, why did he flee the scene? Because I think it's one charge out here that's missing. And that might be a DWI. Because there's no way that they can, go up here and test him days later. That might be the one charge that's missing from him from fleeing the scene, is the fact that he was intoxicated. I'm assuming that he was intoxicated on the night that he ran the light and hit that vehicle. You know what I'm saying? He hit a Toyota Solara. He hit a Toyota Solara in a sports car. You know what I'm saying? He was in a Lamborghini. He was in a Lambo Urus. If it was me, I'd be serving 4 life terms. If it was, hey, if that's the case with you, if it was me, I'm getting death. If you get 4 life terms, I'm being sentenced to death. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I wish jail on no man. Sometimes sitting down is the best though. Yeah, I'm not wishing anything on him. I'm just saying the way it's looking right now is looking bad. Um, per what they put out here to the media on Gervonta Davis hit and run incident. And he was in Baltimore. So you know how Baltimore get out. He's in Baltimore. So Baltimore used to putting them brothers in lockup. They used to it. Come on, that's Baltimore. They used to putting the brothers in lockup. Baltimore don't play. I remember going up to Baltimore in my first duty station. I was like 18 years old. I went to the movies with my girl. I ain't never seen so many people up there in the movies doing shit like they was at a cookout. I could have sworn motherfuckers was goddamn cooking hot dogs up in that bitch, smoking weed. I mean, people walking all through the movies, motherfuckers shooting dice in that bitch, eating Popeye's chicken. I'm serious. I'm not making this shit up, man. I just wanted to go up to Baltimore. You know, I was shooting hoop in Maryland, in Landover, Maryland. So I drove up there. You know, me and my girl drove up there to see a movie. And that was the most ghetto ass movie theater I've ever been in my life. And I'm from the city. That shit was absolutely insane, man. Like, I'm glad they didn't give me a piss test going back to base because I probably inhaled goddamn 15 counts of strands of weed up in that bitch. I ain't gonna lie. That motherfucker was smoked out. And look, the freaking people that worked at the theater was standing around. They was there on deck. They was standing around, man. So Baltimore for Gervonta Davis, I don't know if they love him or hate him. Because he's from Baltimore. He's doing big things out of Baltimore. So I don't know if they love this man or hate him. I don't know. Because this happened in his hometown. He's a big deal. He's a big time name out of Baltimore. It ain't no fluke. He can fight. We'll see how it plays out, bro. Mayweather had to sit down for a month or two. Lil Wayne did a few months as well. Mayweather had to sit down a month or two. I thought Mayweather did more than a month or two. I could have sworn he did more than a month now, because Mayweather went in there and bulked up. He had a mini fro. The only time we really seen Mayweather with hair, he had a mini fro and he was bulked up. So in 2 months, nah, I think Mayweather was in there more than that. Wasn't he in there close to a year? Wasn't Mayweather in lockup close to a year? I'm assuming. But for those of you that's tuned in, man, 3-time world champion, 2 weight classes, Gervonta Davis indicted on 14 counts related to a hit and run that injured 4 people in a Toyota Solaris. Gervonta Davis was driving a Lamborghini Urus, and say Davis was behind the wheel before he and a female passenger fled the scene on foot. Following the collision, man, what is going on? Hold on for a second. I don't know why I'm getting all these. Hold up. I'm about to take care of this right quick. Okay, cool. I'm trying to pull the article. I end up losing the article. I'm about to pull it back up. So like I was saying before, it's a lot of things that's been going on, man. It's another hip hop artist got shot, but just to rehash what I'm talking about, two division boxing champion Gervonta Davis has been indicted on 14 counts of a hit and run crash in Baltimore. According to police, a car ran through a red light and struck a Toyota Solara, which had four adults in the car. Witnesses identified the vehicle as a Lamborghini Urus and say Davis was behind the wheel before he and a female passenger fled the scene on foot. Following the collision, witnesses say a black Camaro. So he went and called his people. He went and called his people to pull up so they can get the evidence out the car. Following the collision, witnesses say a black Camaro arrived at the scene and people started loading items from the Lamborghini into a Camaro before Davis and his passenger left in the black vehicle. In addition to witnesses, police also say surveillance footage proves Tank Davis was behind the wheel of the car. And you know they have surveillance on the street corners. It's Baltimore. The four people inside the Toyota Solara were injured in the crash and was transported to the University of Maryland shock trauma. While the passenger's injuries weren't threatening, the driver was believed to have suffered a serious injury. And, you know, pretty much, like I said before, I put the charges up here for you all to check them out. This is the first set of charges. If you want to read over those are the first set of charges. And this is Gervonta Tank Davis out of Baltimore, Maryland. Currently, you know, two division champion. He's just coming off a tremendous win over Leo Santa Cruz. And from our understanding, he was set, and that's the second set of charges. From my understanding, he was set to fight Mario Barrios potentially coming up. Is it too early to speculate what's going to happen to Gervonta? Maybe, but still, I can take the encompassing charges that he's. I mean, it is a lot of them. 14 is a lot. And we can make our own evaluation and assessment as to what may happen in court. But like we all, you know, mentioned on here, court is different from me and you. I mean, from us to him. Court is different for us, comparable to Gervonta Davis. Like Major Key said, he'll probably be getting 4 life sentences. If that's the case, I'll be getting death row. You know what I'm saying? I'll be getting the death penalty. They would bring up my military history. They'll be bringing up everything. How dare you dishonor our country? As a Marine, you should have stopped right there and attended to the victims. But no. You know what I'm saying? They'll be giving me the riot act on that motherfucker, dog. They'll be like, you should have stayed there and administered CPR. But who said they was unconscious? I don't care. Do it anyway. You should have pushed your sports car over. First of all, I wouldn't have had no Lambo. First of all, let's get that clear. If I had a Lambo up in that motherfucker, it wasn't in my name. But you know damn well they would have brought everything from a kid, what I did at 5 years old up to now. They wouldn't have been talking about my military career, why I didn't stay. Would I have left my comrades behind in combat? Why did you come out to the streets? They would have said, well, this shows that you didn't learn anything in the military. So just because you want to dishonor your country by leaving, you know, victims there to die, they would have said the victim was damn near death. But in this freaking article right here, they said the driver was the only one that received serious injuries. The others were life non-threatening, right? Non-threatening. With all his money, he doesn't have anything better to do with his time but chase drama. Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna knock what you just said to a point of with all the time, with all his money or what have you. You have to understand, Gervonta came from the mud. Period. He had a rough life growing up. So to make it this far, I'm not trying to put a cap on it, a cap of empathy. Just because he did come from a hardship, I mean, really, he came from a hardship, the bottom, the mud, everything he had to endure as a kid. It's amazing he's made as far as he's did on the highest level of boxing. Seriously. But with that said, sometimes the group of people that's around you and grow up with you, sometimes they want to hang around you. And sometimes that fighter, he refused to disassociate himself with those people because they feel like that's a part of the individuals or the people he grew up with. So he got to give them that respect. Ralph say AB, May, Tank, these guys so bad for the sport. SB90, Gervonta, effing idiot. Sheena, damn Gervonta, you can't stay the hell out of trouble. Hey, money convolutes, clouds people's judgment sometimes. But like I said, if it was us, it wouldn't be clouded judgment. It would be an act of pure violence. It would be malice. They would put some of the worst words you ever, for that and that alone, we're charging you for each count. We're giving you 5 years. Seriously. If our attorney came up there, don't come up there with a PD now. Don't come up there with a PD, a public defender. You done. According to ESPN, Mayweather served 2 of his 3-month sentence for a misdemeanor. Okay, damn. All right, so he served 2 months and bulked up like that. He must have been eating freaking ramen noodles every day or something, or some steak or something. For him to get bulked up like that in 2 months, okay, I got you. Appreciate the info. Floyd has always maintained his innocence, although he did plea out. What's good there, Sir Ken in the building? World Combat Sports, salute. Salute to the wrenches in the chat. Wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Clearly a mistake. Hopefully Tank will learn from this situation. This is an example of chasing drama. Fender benders happen. The law will handle him accordingly. Mitch up here sounding like Mitch up here sounding like a motherfucking attorney at law that was on the O.J. Simpson case and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, this bitch up here acting like he just passed the bar exam up in this motherfucker, dog. I mean, it will get handled accordingly, but what y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think Gervonta gets off scotch-free because he has the money? You know what I'm saying? He has the money to release himself from culpability and do any time. That's what it seems like a lot of people are insinuating, that he will not do any time. And a part of me believes that he won't do anything with 14 counts lingering over his head. But also, what must be emphasized also is that a lot of these charges are pretty much, the language is similar, identical. The charges, 4 counts. See, right off the rip, like 4 counts of failure to return and remain at the scene of an accident involving bodily injury. So my assumption is that is the amount of victims that was in the car. 4 counts. It seems very heavy, but they're speaking about the victims that was inside the Toyota. Failure of the driver involved in the accident to render reasonable assistance to the injured person. And the list goes on. Sheena says, salute as Sir Ken. Definitely not the way to move out there, though. Got to pay a driver to avoid silly shit. Yeah, get a DD so they can be responsible. Get a DD, a designated driver. Get a DD. That's how you get past this. Ken, 2 a.m. right after a big party, only a female with him. We know. Also, the driver see a Lambo side swipe his car. Damn right, he going to play her. You right. I told you. After the smoke cleared and they saw that Lambo and they saw Gervonta get out there, motherfucking start running, they recognized him because they are in Baltimore. Shit, they let the seat back. Them motherfuckers start banging their head up against the window and making themselves bleed. Seriously. You might have had one person, hey, dude, hit me in the jaw. Not with your hand. Pick up the pistol. They was creating injuries, god damn it. Because ultimately at the shock trauma, they're gonna have a bill, and Gervonta is gonna have to come out the pocket for punitive pain and suffering and all that other stuff because he was negligent. He was negligent. So you're gonna pay punitive, and you're gonna pay whatever else the judge wants you to pay. Pain and suffering, all that shit. They're not gonna get rich off Gervonta, but they're gonna be nice. They're gonna have enough money to do some different shit, and they better be careful running around Baltimore. Look, Gervonta Davis got people around in Baltimore too. If you think that shit gonna be all scotch free, and these cats living in Baltimore and they try to go above and beyond, let's just say that Gervonta attempts to pay restitution. If they believe that, and if anybody in this live chat believes that you're going to take advantage of Gervonta in Baltimore and try to hit him in the head and be greedy without consequences, you're sadly mistaken. So they're going to get something, but they're not going to overdo it. Because unless they plan on moving out of Baltimore, you're not going to sit there and try to extort Gervonta Davis. Even though he's negligent, you're not going to try to goddamn take out the claw hammer and beat him over the head with it and say, 50,000 isn't enough. You got to bump that up another 100,000. That's not going to happen. If you ain't been up to Baltimore, take a trip up there. Shit. You better be careful. Sheena Salute, he's getting off dollars. Yeah, it's all about the dollars. His deeds will go unpunished. Now, Andrew content that his deeds will go unpunished, y'all. Gervonta Davis' deeds will go unpunished. And also, let me tell y'all this, right? All the listeners, this is how I look at it too. Boxing in general allows itself to license individuals that did prison and jail time, okay, for various crimes. So when you hear about incidents that has happened over the past that's much worse than this, and the amount of time they didn't receive or did receive, it happens all the time in the sport of boxing, man. They allow individuals to not have any prerequisites to compete in the sport. So, incidents like this from a fighter, domestic violence cases, criminal acts, it happens in combat sports. It does, bro. I'm not going to go on a tangent about individuals that's locked up now in mixed martial arts and boxing, but real talk. Just think about James. I think his name was James Butler, how he sucker punched a fighter that he had already fought before and lost to. And they fought again and he lost. And the guy was coming over to congratulate him. He sucker punched him. He went to prison. Even though he had hand wraps still on his right hand, he sucker punched him and he went to prison. So therefore, it's incidents like this that happens in combat sports, in boxing all the time. And I'm not condoning it, but those of you that's on here that's saying he may get off, I can't disagree. He may indeed get off. The man is big time in Baltimore, dog. Think about that. Gervonta Davis, he had a fight in Baltimore, man, and them motherfuckers was on their feet, man. They was goddamn. Look, that shit right there at the Royal Farms Arena, I believe that was a feat. They was rowdy. I ain't gonna lie. They know who Gervonta is. Real talk. Ain't no sucker walking in the streets in Baltimore. They respect him. That's real talk. I gotta keep it on both sides. That's real talk. He ain't no sucker in the street now. Victims will be paid. King Mitch say, anybody seeing Cooley High? Remember when Preach and I don't even know who that is. Crash a stolen car. Everybody hopped out screaming whiplash, whiplash. I doubt these people were screaming whiplash. But I'm gonna tell you from a street standpoint, that Mitch, a lot of people know that you're not going to sit up here and extort Gervonta Davis in his hometown. Regardless, as fucked up as it seemed, right? Of him hitting somebody like that. As fucked up as it seemed, you're not going to be able to extort this man in the court of law and act like your injuries is just unfreaking believable and you can't work the rest of your life. Do you know at one point in time how many murders was going on in Baltimore? Do you think these people that's in this vehicle that's on the wrong side cannot be contacted in the worst way? Like, seriously. I know they're happy that Gervonta Davis is one that hit him. But when it comes down to them receiving money that they didn't have before, they're going to take that shit. They're not going to hit that champ over the head in his hometown with all them people who are willing to die for this cat. They wouldn't have died for Gervonta. Believe it or not, man, you can say no all you want. But Gervonta Davis coming out from where he came from in Baltimore, you got some cats out there that's willing to goddamn kill for this dude. It's some cats out there that's very loyal. If there's one dude in boxing that I know for a fact that ain't a sucker ass niggas they call him, that's Gervonta. He ain't no sucker. I mean, he do some dumb shit, getting in trouble and stuff, but people with money do dumb shit like that, man. But he gonna have to go see the judge with this. He gonna have to stand tall for this, as we call it. He gonna have to stand tall. Real talk. Yeah, James Butler. Elder, what's good? Yeah, James Butler went to prison for killing Max Kellerman, but before that, he punched his opponent. Yeah, you right. James Butler went to prison for killing Max Kellerman, you know, and also, you know, he tried to burn the place down to cover it up too. And you know, that's why I always tell people, it's a lot of individuals that look at the shit Gervonta Davis do, and you say, well, he know better than that. He has all that money. Never forget, you're dealing with individuals who get punched in the head now. They're going to have incidents where they just lose their fucking mind. Like boxers in general, they have moments like this where they do shit that's criminal. They have the domestic violence cases. Gervonta Davis been boxing a long time. He's taking some serious punishment. So, with all honesty, this might not be the last time we see him do something like this. I'm not prognosticating negativity to you know, ahead of time, but I'm just saying boxing is a full contact sport where you wear 8 to 10 ounce gloves and even higher ounces in sparring, and you're taking punishment. So therefore, the damage that a boxer receives, every now and then you're going to see a boxer stand out and have cases of abuse, aggression, or incidents like this where they're not thinking properly. They just impulsively reacting and they want to flee the scene. Max brother, yep. That was bad. James Butler, man. Yep. Come back, you got to see Cooley High. I did, man. I just couldn't think of it right now. You have to understand. I don't want to put my age out there, you know, but a lot of shit that I'm you know, cataloging with combat sports is not just boxing. So, you know, you get that, miss. You get there. Let me know. You'll get there. When you get my age, you get that, dog. It's the shit you're going to be forgetting too that you see back in the day. Shit, you're going to be like, damn, that's right. I do remember that shit. Okay. We're not supposed to be laughing. Hey, man, Cooley High, dog. So I'm curious to know if, you know, they pretty much going to keep Gervonta Davis, you know, out of confinement, because he's been out of confinement, obviously, because he was down in the A. So him being out of confinement, I mean, I don't think he's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm saying to myself, like, If they felt it was such a serious nature, he would have already been locked up until trial. But seriously, even with this, I don't think he's going to be locked up to trial, man. You know, Floyd probably combined his legal team. However they did it, he's probably going to be out of confinement and until trial. Until then, he's going to continue to train and get ready for his next fight, if that is indeed how this situation plays out, people. Yes, sir. I told y'all. I said if Gervonta Davis get in trouble, man. I mean, if Gervonta Davis' career is hindered, or there's a halt in his career, it's not going to be for what he does in the ring. It's going to be what happens outside. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here. I say, damn, this makes the second time a black fighter, right, in boxing, had a big fight, did extremely well, only to be in the news for the wrong reason several days later. You know, Errol Spence with Sean Porter fight. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence and Sean Porter. He had an amazing performance, got the win, and then had a vehicle crash. Then Gervonta Davis coming off Leo Santa Cruz fight. Amazing victory, knockout. End up having a vehicle crash. Sometimes you just gotta have a DD. You know what I'm saying? Just get a DD. But some, you know, as a grown man, some of these guys be picking up women. They ain't trying to have no DD. They just trying to roll out, man. You know, they just trying to go on about their business. And then, was he driving by himself in Baltimore, or was he with somebody? Because they're in Baltimore now. So if indeed he fled the scene and a Camaro drove up without the police being there, that means somebody had to be with them, had to be following. Seriously. There's no way they're going to run up the street, call somebody, and in Baltimore, and the police haven't showed up. I'm pretty sure those people that was in the Toyota call 911 quick. Hey, you need to hurry up. The driver and the passenger fled the scene. You need to hurry up. You need to get here. And for the Camaro to pull up and retrieve belongings from the car, yeah, he had to have somebody telling him. You know what I'm saying? He had to have somebody there, you know, following before, you know, where he was going or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the investment. Absolutely. And I wonder that black Camaro, if they had surveillance on Gervonta Davis, I wonder why they didn't mention the black Camaro and the occupants of the black Camaro. Because if they say they seen him retrieve, you know, items from the car into the black Camaro, I'm pretty sure whoever that was asking him questions through interrogation, they probably say, okay, we want to know who's in the black Camaro. We have surveillance footage of you. And what do you think? Baltimore, you think Gervonta Davis gonna snitch? Nope. Nope. He's not gonna snitch on them people, man. Whoever they were, if they was on his team or whatever, I can't see Gervonta Davis going in there and snitching on him. He could have been set up to take a hit because they know he would run. I don't know about that, man. Now we coming up with conspiracy theories. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know if they was trying to set him up. It's not far-fetched over there in Baltimore. L-Dub Boxing, what did Max Kellerman brother do to James Butler? James Butler and Max Kellerman brother got into an argument. And once again, James Butler is the same one who punched his opponent. And even after getting out of prison, you know what I'm saying? Okay, even after getting out of prison for that incident right there, he still had a couple of fights after that, right? But Kellerman then was trying to help him out because he wasn't doing well. They tried to help him out, man. And they had a disagreement inside the residence. And from my understanding, he killed Max's brother and tried to cover it up by setting the place on fire. Yep. And they was helping James out. They was helping James out, man. And he killed him. Yep. That's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? That's very unfortunate. But that's, when you're dealing with individuals that are in the sport of boxing, mixed martial arts, it doesn't matter. According to, how much damage has been done to their body in general, you might see them have um a episode. You know what I'm saying? You might see them have several episodes in their lifetime that caused them to get locked up and incarcerated because the damage they took on their head. You might see that shit, y'all. Real talk. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, he was wrong, and we're gonna see what the courts say about it, y'all. We're gonna see what the courts say about this. Seriously. 7 years and 55 days in prison. I seriously doubt that's gonna be. I seriously doubt he's gonna receive the maximum on all these charges. I don't see it at all. Let me see. Since y'all mentioned that, let me see this shit about James. Let me James Butler. Oh, it's a little off topic, but I'll tell you right now what happened. So, from what they saying over here, right? He murdered Sam Kellerman, right, on October 12th, 2004. Writer Sam Kellerman, brother of sports analyst Max Kellerman, was killed in his apartment in Los Angeles. His body was not found until October 17th. Butler was considered a suspect since he had been friends with Kellerman for over 10 years, y'all. 10 years. But check this out. On October 20th, Butler, accompanied by a lawyer or attorney, whatever, sought treatment for his alleged bipolar disorder. I can believe it. Butler was arrested for the Kellerman murder on October 27. 2 days later, he pleaded not guilty to the murder and arson. He was held on $1.25 million bail. Prosecutors claimed that Butler, the only suspect in the case, repeatedly struck Kellerman in the head with a hammer. So I was right. He used the hammer. I kind of thought that, but yeah, repeatedly struck Kellerman in the head with a hammer. Then torched Kellerman's Hollywood, California apartment in an attempt to cover up. On July 8, 2005, Los Angeles judge ruled that there was sufficient evidence for Butler to stand trial on charges of murder and arson. Of course, they're going to be sufficient because they don't want to take the bipolar disorder. Come on, man. How many times have we seen that? On March 27, 2006, Butler pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and arson in the 2004 death of Kellerman. On April 5th, Butler was sentenced to 29 years. 29 years and 4 months in prison by Superior Court Judge Michael Pastor, according to Deputy Public Defender Jack Keenan. Prosecutors speculated Butler was having relationship issues with his girlfriend while also struggling to revive his boxing career when Kellerman asked Butler to move out. A disagreement ensued on how long Butler could stay when he picked up a hammer and killed Kellerman, then torched the house. There you have it. There you have it. He was having relationship issues. But anyway, yeah, man, I just want to stop through and speak on this for a bit, man. This is unfortunate, man. I hate to see any fighters that's going through this situation, but more so, you have black fighters in the media, prominent, popular black boxers, fighters in the media for doing stuff that seems insensitive. But it's not the first time we've seen this to this severity. We've seen um more severe incidents happen over time. I'm no way, shape, or form, you know, hold up. I'm no way, shape, or form just trying to lower the nature of severity in this case. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, I understand combat sports when it comes to incidents such as this. And sometimes the outcome is absolutely minimal. And of course, money talks and bullshit get you behind bars. So in this case, once again, money probably has been talking for several months now. They finally released the information, and then we have to see if this even have a long drawn out trial. This may come out and we talk about it, and then it may quickly evaporate because behind the scenes the victims are paid their restitution. Gervonta Davis goes to his court date and he receives minimal punishment, and therefore we have to wait for him to step back in the ring again. That's how I see it. We're gonna see if Baltimore love or hate Gervonta Davis. We're gonna see this in this particular case right here. We're gonna see if Baltimore love or hate Gervonta Davis. All from this one incident. I don't want to make no insinuations about how the legality works over there in Baltimore, but man, this man is truly from the streets of Baltimore, and I think they have much respect, and they understand. They see a lot of Gervonta Davises come and go through Baltimore. They see a lot of Gervonta Davises in the coroner's office. Seriously. So let's see how this plays out, people. That's all I can say. But I appreciate everyone for pulling up, man. Y'all turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.